The police, for the last few weeks, have been a big topic in the United States, mostly because of police brutality. But the turns have switched into a very brutal shooting. On July 7th, 2016, 12 police officers and 2 civilians in Dallas, Texas were ambushed. 5 were killed, including the shooter himself. This is 10 facts about the Dallas shootings. Let's begin. The shootings happened in a Black Lives Matter protest. It was organized in Dallas by the Next Generation Action Network in response to the killings of 2 men, Alton Sterling and Philando Castile, by 2 police officers in Louisiana and Minnesota, respectively, days before. The Dallas protest was one of the several held across the United States on the night of July 7th. Around 800 protesters were involved, and around 100 police officers were assigned to protect the event and the surrounding area. Before the shooting occurred, no other incidents were reported, and the event was peaceful. The gunman was 25-year-old Micah Johnson. He died after a long standoff with police in downtown Dallas. He was the main conductor of this crime. 3 other people were taken into custody, 2 men and a woman. Police now say they believe Johnson was the lone shooter. Johnson told police during the standoff that he wanted to kill white people, especially white police officers, and that he was upset over recent police killings of black men. Johnson's from the Dallas suburb of Mesquite. He had been a member of the United States Army Reserve until April 2015. He served in Afghanistan and had no known criminal history or ties to terrorist groups. Bomb-making material, rifles, ammunition, and a combat journal were found at his home. The gunman said that he was not affiliated with any groups and was working alone, but 3 other suspects, 2 men and a woman, are still thought to be in police custody. The shooting began at 8:58 p.m. A bystander reported hearing 50 to 75 shots. Dallas Police Chief David Brown said that some of the officers were shot in the back, and that the shooter had some knowledge of the protest route. He later said that the shooter had driven his vehicle ahead of the protesters to observe their path, and found an opportunity to shoot from nearby elevated positions in buildings. Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings said that the shooter fired from different floors of a nearby building. At least 12 officers fired back. During the shooting, officers, unaware where the shots were coming from, scrambled to block intersections and were exposed to gunfire as a result. Following the shooting, the shooter was hit by bullets and fled into a nearby parking garage. Following his blood trail, officers confronted the shooter and fired at him, apparently hitting and wounding him again. He then engaged officers at a standoff at the garage, firing intermittently at them. 1 officer was injured during the shootout. As it turns out, Johnson had more planned than what actually occurred. A suspicious package was discovered near the garage he fled to and was secured by a bomb squad. Chief Brown later said Johnson had declared that the end was near. His intentions were to kill more police, and that he placed explosives all over the garage in downtown Dallas. Brown also said we had negotiated with him for about 2 hours, and he just basically lied to us, playing games, laughing at us, singing, asking how many did we get, and that he wanted to kill some more. From the political side of things, President Barack Obama said America had been left horrified by what appeared to be a planned attack on police officers. Speaking in Poland, where he is meeting NATO official and European leaders, he said that the investigation continues. But what we do know is there has been a vicious, calculated, and despicable attack on law enforcement. He added that the shootings were a wrenching reminder of the sacrifices that police officers make every day. DART suspended service in downtown Dallas after the shooting, but resumed the next morning with the exception of West End Station. The Federal Aviation Administration issued a temporary flight restriction of civilian aircraft for the immediate vicinity in which the shooting occurred, allowing only police aircraft in the airspace. El Centro College canceled all classes on July 8th. Police determined that Johnson used a SKS semi-automatic rifle and a high-capacity handgun. He was also wearing a bulletproof vest. The day after the shooting, searches were conducted on the Johnson family home. bomb-making materials, ballistic vests, rifles, ammunition, and a personal journal of combat tactics, containing instruction on shooting techniques and tactical movements, were recovered from the home by the detectives. Chief Brown said the recovered evidence pointed to Johnson practicing detonations and having enough explosive material to cause devastating effects throughout Dallas and North Texas area. 200 officers were interviewed during the course of the investigation. Investigators are examining Johnson's laptop, journal, and cell phone. Some experts believe that this was the first time in United States history a robot was used by police to deliver lethal force against a suspect. The Romotech Model F5, a bomb disposal remote control vehicle used by police, was rigged with about a pound of C4 explosive, killing Johnson and ending the standoff. The decision was made after it was concluded that the heavily armed Johnson had secured himself behind a brick corner, with no safe way for police to rush Johnson or reach him with a sniper. Amateur video footage showed one police officer approaching a gunman outside the El Centro College. After an initial exchange, the gunman is seen shooting the officer at least twice, leaving him motionless, before fleeing. At around 5:30 a.m., police said they were questioning two people after an officer saw a person throw a camouflage bag into the back of a black Mercedes-Benz and sped off. 12 police officers were shot during this shooting. Johnson's victims were a mix of veterans, parents, grandparents, spouses, and community leaders. The officers killed in this attack was Brent Thompson, 43, Patrick Zamarapa, 32, Michael Kroll, 40, Michael J. Smith, 55, and Lauren Irons, 48. I hope this video enlightened you on what happened during July 7th. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining, for you won't fall asleep. Thank you for whoever watched the video. Leave a comment about what you think about the video and this entire situation. I will see you guys Thursday.